Tiny Tales Podcast, Tiny Tales Podcast, Tiny Tales. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission is always to get straight to the most fascinating and sometimes downright weird insights from the sources you share with us.
And today's is definitely one of the weirdest.
Oh, absolutely. We are diving into this account from a listener's sources about a man named Khalil who claims he accidentally became aware of a timeline switch.
It's this incredibly detailed, predictive memory download that seems to have been fully confirmed years later.
Exactly. We're looking at a story that spans 13 years. It starts with a 13-year-old boy who takes a nap and wakes up with a complete high-definition memory of his life as a 26-year-old man.
And the core conflict here, what we need to unpack, is that the sources frame this as an accidental awareness of a huge reality transition.
A glitch in the Matrix moment.
Yeah, a glitch he was never, ever supposed to notice. So let's get into this. It's an unusual narrative, to say the least.
So let's set the scene. It's the early 2000s, Southwest Virginia. Khalil is just a normal, active 13-year-old kid, playing basketball, running around with friends.
Yeah. A totally standard middle schooler life.
Completely. And the day this all happens is just another day. He was tired, went to his room around 2 in the afternoon to take a nap.
And he thinks he slept for about an hour.
Right. It's the kind of nap any of us might take. But for him, this was the moment his whole reality just fractured.
And the state he was in when this started is so critical. The sources say he'd woken up, but, and this is the key, he hadn't opened his eyes yet.
That in-between state.
Exactly, that liminal space between being asleep and being fully awake. It's a state where our brain hasn't, fully booted up its normal filters. And that's when the strangest things can happen.
And for Khalil, something massive happened. This wasn't a dream fading away. He said he saw his entire life flash before his eyes.
But not his life.
No, not his 13-year-old timeline. He saw a complete, a full download of himself as a 26-year-old man.
The level of detail here is what takes this from just a strange dream to a genuine puzzle. This wasn't some fuzzy, oh, I'll be successful someday kind of feeling.
Not at all.
The information was hyper-specific, and it was a total contrast to who he was then. The 26-year-old version of him had long dreads and was covered in tattoos. The source says, all over his body.
Which for a 13-year-old kid in Virginia at the time was probably a huge departure.
A huge departure. And beyond just how he looked, the download included his entire family, his financial status. He saw he had lots of money and 2 children, a boy and a girl.
And then there's the detail that, for me, is the most stunning.
The apartment.
The apartment. He knew, as a 13-year-old, that he was living in a specific apartment complex in a neighboring town. That's not a dream. That feels like data.
It's data transfer.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the actual mechanics of how he perceived this, because this is what really pushes back against the idea of simple precognition.
Right. He describes this sensation of his current memories, his 13-year-old life literally leaving him.
Being pulled out.
Yeah. And then right after, the memories of the 26-year-old life just flooded in to replace them, like he was being overwritten.
That feeling of displacement is so fascinating. If it were just a really vivid dream, you'd expect the new information to just be layered on top of the old. But this sensation of the old self leaving, that suggests a total re-anchoring of his consciousness.
A system reboot?
Kind of. And his reaction in that moment is maybe the most important piece of evidence. He instantly realized he was an observer of something he shouldn't be seeing.
He said he knew he was not supposed to be aware this was happening.
Yes, and he had this instinct that if he broke the state, if he blinked, if he sat up, it would all just snap into place and he'd be stuck.
Forced to just accept this new reality without any memory of the old one. So he just laid there, eyes shut, totally in shock, trying to process this impossible situation.
And his conclusion was immediate and pretty stark.
Yeah, he figured either he had literally died and been placed into another reality, or his awareness of the switch was a massive system flaw.
A glitch in the Matrix he just happened to catch because he didn't move.
The aftermath of this was, as you'd expect, profound. Khalil was just completely shaken. He kept it a secret from almost everyone, but that memory stayed crystal clear.
And it completely changed his behavior. I mean, think about it. Living with this blueprint of your future, or worse, thinking you might be on borrowed time in a timeline that isn't even yours.
That would create so much anxiety.
Immense anxiety. He became worried that maybe this meant he was supposed to die soon.
So he became super cautious.
Incredibly cautious. Avoided fights, tried not to upset anyone, mostly kept to himself. He was essentially trying to walk on eggshells through life, believing it might be on a very short, predetermined track.
Which raises that whole question of fate versus free will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did knowing the blueprint guide him toward it, making it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Or did his caution actually save him from an early death, allowing him to reach 26?
And the source confirms he did, in fact, survive.
He did. His caution worked, at least in getting him to the payoff.
Okay, so let's jump to that payoff. 13 years have gone by. Khalil is now 26.
Living his life. The memory has probably faded. Maybe he's written it off as some weird childhood fever dream.
And he's sitting in his apartment in that neighboring town just having a normal day, and suddenly the memory of that nap from when he was 13 comes rushing back.
Total clarity.
Total clarity. The source says his eyes got big as golf balls. He realized, with this terrifying certainty, he was living the exact life he had seen all those years ago.
And this is where we get the confirmation. The fidelity of that information from 13 years prior was just staggering.
Yeah.
This wasn't a dream.
Let's tick them off.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So at 26, he had the long dreads.
Check.
He was covered in the tattoos he saw.
Check.
He'd achieved that financial security. He had lots of money. And crucially, he had 2 kids, a boy and a girl, who he said looked exactly like he remembered from the vision.
That is just unbelievable. But the detail that's the hardest to explain away, the one that anchors the whole thing in physical reality,
The apartment.
it's the apartment.
It has to be. I mean, you could argue that subconsciously he was guided to get dreads or tattoos. Maybe he worked hard for the money because he felt he was supposed to. But choosing the same specific apartment complex, an external variable he had no reason to even know about as a teen.
No, that detail changes the whole game. It's not just a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point.
It isn't. And for him, that cemented his original conclusion. It wasn't just a prediction. For him, this was confirmation that he had experienced a reality switch, a timeline jump, that he was never ever meant to witness.
It's an incredible account. It really forces you to try and reconcile his subjective experience, that feeling of memories being removed, with any kind of rational explanation.
Even if you want to call it super high-fidelity precognition, you still have to deal with that sensation of the old reality peeling away. It's a perfect case study for how consciousness might feel during a major transition.
So what does this all mean? We have this detailed 2-part story confirmed over 13 years, down to the real estate. It suggests consciousness, at least in certain states, can access information about what? Future paths, alternate timelines.
And the takeaway really is that consistency. The details held up, especially the external ones like the apartment. You can't just dismiss it. It forces you to ask if time is really as linear as we think, or if we're just navigating between paths that all exist at once.
And Khalil says he caught a glimpse of the moment his awareness jumped the tracks.
That's his truth.
It really makes you wonder, if the full blueprint of your future was downloaded into your mind right now, would you want to know?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
And if you knew it all, where you'd live, what you'd look like, who your family would be, would that knowledge change how you live today? Would you be like Khalil and live cautiously, afraid to knock anything off its course? Or would that certainty, free you up to be more reckless? Something to think about as you go about your day on your own timeline.
Tiny Tales Podcast. Tiny